So Pablo Andujar and Dominic Thiem, they're facing off in the first round of Roland Garros. Andujar this year has had some good results, but not the most consistent ones. But he has shown some signs of good form this season. He beat Federer in his home tournament in Geneva in 3 sets, and he reached the semifinals of that tournament. So he is in decent form so far. He also managed to do well. He also managed to do well in Argentina. He reached the quarterfinals of the Argentina Open. So he is showing some signs of good form in this this year. And when he's in good form, he's really good, especially on the clay. He'll be a stern test for the team, because I think that team isn't really in great form right now. So he will be a test for Dominic Thiem here. Now his opponent, Thiem, hasn't had the best 2021 season. He has lost early in quite a bit of tournaments. He took a break and he said that he was feeling some mental stress, so he did take a break. But this series isn't seeming to be his year. He reached the 4th round of the Australian Open, but he did have an encouraging result. He reached the semis of Madrid. But other than that, he hasn't had really the best season this year. He's not been in great form. He's actually really struggled a lot this season. He lost early at a lot of events. He lost early in Lyon, in Italy as well. And what that means is that he's going to go into this event without the title for the first time in over 5 years. So that's an interesting statistic, and it doesn't bode well, especially because while he has a decent side of draw, he's still gonna have to be wary of the competitors. Now, they have met a couple times before. They've met 3 times, and Team 1 has won all those meetings. They met in 2019, 2018, 2016. Thiem hasn't dropped a set to Andujar, and they've all been on clay. So my prediction here, I think that Thiem is going to win this. I think that while he may not be in his best form right now, I think that Andujar is playing well. I think that Thiem will still win. I think he'll be extra determined. He said that he wants to get his game up, and I think that he's going to be working on his game to improve it. So I'm going to pick Thiem to win. I think it's going to be I think it's going to be straight sets. It's going to be 3 tight sets, but I think it's going to be the win. So Thiem in straight sets is my prediction. So Fognini and Berger, they're facing off in the first round of Roland Garros. Now Fognini hasn't had the best season, but he's shown some glimpses of his best form. He was much better in 2020. In 2020, he had a surgery that forced him to withdraw from a lot of events, and he lost early at a lot of them. So he's looking back that he's showing some glimpses of his best form. He managed to do well in Monte Carlo. He made the quarterfinals, which was pretty good. He also reached the final of the ATP Cup and made the 4th round of the Australian Open, so some good stuff from him. His best result is the quarterfinal in Monte Carlo, and then of course the 4th round at the Australian Open. But his best result on clay is the 4th round of quarterfinals in Monte Carlo. So he'll be hoping to improve on that in near future, because if he wants to go deep at this event, he's going to have to improve on that. Plus, he has a 4th round appearance to defend from 2019. Now, his opponent is actually 1-4, I think, on the clay. He didn't win a whole lot of matches. He only managed to win 1 match, especially on the main tour. On the Challenger Tour, he won some matches, but he hasn't managed to win a whole lot this year. So he'll be hoping that maybe he can fix that. He'll be hoping that he can reverse that, and he can win some matches again, because he's not in great form right now. He's really gonna need the French crowd to be able to beat Fognini. While Fognini may be a little bit, what I would say, not at his best, he will still need some crowd support. So he's gonna hope that maybe he can get some crowd support to help him win. Now, I don't think they have met before. Looking at their head-to-head, I think it's a first meeting between them. So 0-0. So I think that Fognini wins. I think that while his opponent could cause an upset, and while he is at home, I think that his opponent has been in bad form as well. And Fognini has shown some glimpses of his best forms. I'm going to pick him in 4. I think it's going to be 4 sets, but I think I'm going to pick him to win this in a 4-set match. So Carreño Busta and Gombosch, they're facing off in the first round of Roland Garros. Now Carreño Busta this year hasn't had the best clay court season. He has lost early he actually withdrew from Rome against Nishikori. So he may not be in full fitness. That's a big question. Is he going to be in full fitness? Is he going to be ready to play? Because he may not be in at his best form, but he did do well. He reached the semifinal in Barcelona, a round of 16 appearance at Monte Carlo, and the final in Andalusia. So he is in decent form. He's not in the worst form right now. So, and if he's in good form, he can definitely go deep. Last year, he made the quarterfinals of the French Open. So he's definitely in good enough form to have a deep run if he's in his best form. Now, his opponent is actually not in bad form. His opponent actually reached the quarterfinals of the event he played earlier. So that's some good form. He beat Ramos Vinolas, who has been in great form so far. So that's a really great, encouraging win for Gombosh there. He's playing decently. I think that he has a chance, especially if his opponent is off. He may have a chance at beating him. He also reached the quarterfinals in Andalusia, so he's done pretty well so far. He's had some good runs. He's had some mixed results. Some good results mixed in with some bad ones, but he's shown some good form this clay court season. They have met before. These two players have met before. I remember they met last year. Yeah, I think they've met twice before. And they actually have a 1-1 head-to-head. Ooh, they have a 1-1 head-to-head. So, they met in Montpellier on a hard court. Gombosh won that one in 3 sets. That was a hard court, though. In Paris last year on the hard court, Carreño Busta won that one in straight sets. And they met on a challenger event in the clay court in Italy. An official event, quarterfinal and stage. And Carreño Busta won that one in 3 sets. So, my prediction, I think that Carreño Busta will win this one in straight sets. I think that is because his opponent will be tired. And plus, Carreño Busta would have had enough time to recover from the injury he had against Nishikori, I think. So I'm going to pick him to win. I think it's going to be tight, but I think it's going to be straight sets for Carreño Busta here. So Mamir Kecmanovic and Dan Evans, they're facing off in the first round of the French Open. Now Kecmanovic hasn't had the best year this year. He's lost early in a lot of the events. He did do well in Serbia. He made the quarterfinals. The first edition, not the second edition. The second edition, he lost to Cuevas in straight sets in the first round. He also reached the semifinals of the Argentina Open. So he has had some good results, but he's also lost early quite a bit. So it's going to be interesting to see whether he can possibly make a deep run here, because he is good on the clay. He did win a title on the clay last year. But also, he's also lost early a lot this year, so he hasn't been in his best form. Now, Evans has really been in good form this year, I would say. Especially on the clay. He's not really known for his clay court abilities, but he did make a semifinal in Monte Carlo, which was surprising. He beat the world number 1 along the way, Novak Djokovic. So, he did play really well, and he also managed to have some smaller, I would say, runs. He reached the round 16 of Madrid, so he's also did well there. At the beginning of the year, although it wasn't a hard court, but at the beginning of the year, he did win a title at the Murray River Open. At the beginning of the year, he won that, so he did do well there. So he is showing that he has some abilities on the clay, that he can do well on clay. And now he has a decent opener because his opponent hasn't really been in really good form right now. So he is showing that he has a chance to definitely do well on the clay here. Now, they're head-to-head right now. They've never met, so they have a 0-0 head-to-head. So I think that Evans will win this one in straight. I think he'll win it in straight because, well, number one, his opponent isn't in great form, and number two, Evans is also in really good form so far. I think that he's in great form, and I think that when he's in good form, he's not easy to beat. He's a player that is a little bit unorthodox. He has a little unorthodox style when he plays, so I think that will overwhelm his opponent, and I think that his opponent not being in great form doesn't bode well for this. So I think Evans in straight is my prediction.